feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
Good evening, everyone, live. This is Rich Mancuso on my YouTube channel. It's Keep It in the Ring for this Thursday evening, January 29th, 2026. Good to be back with you. Tommy D, great job filling in for me last week. We're ready to go with the hour, a little more, and a lot to do here at Keep It in the Ring as always. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel here on YouTube as always. Also, TD Sports Talk, my buddy Tommy D, my co-host, colleague, and producer will be joining us in a moment. And also the String Punk Entertainment. The boxing schedule scrolled at the bottom of your screen. My content, read it, latinosports.com. Xander Zayas, my highlight up there now. More on Teofimo Lopez tomorrow on latinosports.com from yours truly, as well as my social media handles. Reach me at X, Ring786, Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso, also on Instagram and other social media outlets. And in the hour ahead, and thank you for your continued support as always. And fans, I'm okay. I just needed to take some time off last week, but you know, it's going to happen. I'll be on and off here in the next few months from time to time. Bear with me. Tommy D has always got the keys and does a great job as always. Comment, please, and we'll get to as many of those as we can during the next hour or more. So it's a tidal wave weekend coming up. We'll concentrate on that in boxing. Xander Zayas in Puerto Rico, of course, Teofimo and Shakur, the highlight fight, Madison Square Garden. That's going to be a good one with a great card underneath it Saturday night. Both of those fight cards, we look forward to it, plus more in the UK and Denmark as well on the zone. Zuffa Boxing with a great debut. I thought it was. We'll recap that a little bit and go over that. And the next card coming up Sunday. Yes, they come right back on Sunday. Tyson Fury, his return in July. It's just about set. He retired and unretired, as a lot of fighters do, as I always say. We'll hit the WWE circuit, and we'll talk about the WWE Royal Rumble for this busy Saturday. Yes, in combat sports, even some UFC stuff coming up as well. Royal Rumble with a lot of interest in the wrestling segment. We'll get to that. Nostalgia, fact of the week, more. You know what it is. It's Keep It in the Ring. I'm Rich Mancuso. Let's get to it right away. Well, boxing tidal wave coming up this weekend. You know, fans, this Saturday, we get something in boxing that happens much too much. That is conflicts. You have more than one show with interest at the same time. In this case, Saturday, you have the Garden Show and the anticipated fight with much hype, Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, two of the top 10 maybe fighters in the world today, pound for pound. Maybe. Not maybe, they are. And it's creating a lot of buzz and interest, of course, in boxing circles, but not everywhere else, because boxing doesn't get the play it once was due to the fact we are only watching these shows and these great fighters on streaming networks. We have no more boxing on TV. Free TV. So, as it is, the boxing fan is tuned in. We're getting a fight that we want to see. Shakur and Teofimo Stevenson, that have been talked about, it is finally here. Boxing, again, friends, is strong, only because the promoters want to make it that way. We, as boxing people, as I tell you every week here on the program, know the sport is strong because we are boxing enthusiasts. Those who don't like boxing will never say it's going to survive. Well, it survives because, again, what we have this weekend. But the fact is that you have three major boxing shows running simultaneously on Saturday. The show in the UK and Denmark a little earlier on the zone, with Josh Kelly as one of the participants out of the UK for the title. But two at the same time. Puerto Rico with Xander Zayas defending his title for the first time at junior welterweight, and he at junior middleweight, that is. And Xander in Puerto Rico, the homecoming, has a big interest, of course. He's got a good undercard underneath there as well. And then, of course, you go to the Garden, and on the zone pay-per-view, Teofimo and Shakur, and what supports it underneath is even more interesting. What my point is here is this. Promoters want to make the fights. The Turk guy, of course, in Saudi Arabia, a big part of this with the ring. This one in New York, Ring 6. Promoters are coming together. There's no doubt about it. They are trying to work together to put the best fights possible on for you, the fans, and for the fighters, of course. The money is there. The streaming networks incorporate a lot of that income into doing this. We hadn't seen that before. We're seeing it now. The problem I have again is too many promotions, too much at the same time. And as a result, boxing gets lost in the shuffle. How can you not let Teofimo and Shakur stand alone? That is the fight fans want to see. No disrespect to Xander Zayas, who belongs in that spotlight, worked his way up to a championship, has it, and will defend it in his home of San Juan, Puerto Rico. But the fight that's not getting the hype that should is Teofimo and Shakur. Yeah, it's got some hype. It doesn't have that big hype of what you would see in the 80s era that I was a part of with Hagel, Hearns, Duran, and Leonard. That's because you didn't have three big major boxing promotions running on the same day, two at the same time, and all these championship fights and titles on the line. That, my friends, is something that the sport has to figure out how to resolve, because the fans get lost in this shuffle as well. What do you watch? When do you watch it? Who do you want to see over the other? That is a dilemma, isn't it, if you're a big boxing fan and enthusiast as I am, and you all are. Boxing has to figure that out if it wants to get strong again and draw in the mainstream fan that went away. It's part of the confusion of the sport. And until that's resolved, this will continue. But, my friends, as I always say, when you got all this money flashing out there on you, you're going to go with it. And when you have all these streaming networks competing with each other, this is what's going to occur. The only resolution, which will never happen, is to oversee all this, and that would be a National Boxing Commission. Boxing needs that. Boxing will never have it. Because, again, it comes down to the money, and then you have that money, even with Zuffa and Paramount now and Dana White involved in this picture, who wants to do things his way, he feels are the right way. Well, you're never going to have a resolution to the conflict we're having this weekend. And with that, and Netflix involved with it, they become the leader, haven't they? Let me bring in Tommy D. Tommy D, TD Sports Talk, my esteemed co-host, colleague, and producer. Tom, welcome. It's good to see you again. I was under last week, but you handled it well. You handled it well for an hour. Not easy to do by yourself.
Okay. I did it by myself. I had no guests or anything, so I thought I did pretty well. So
yeah, you did very good, and that's why you always have the keys to the house when I'm not here.
That. Yeah, I appreciate that. It's been a good week. We have a good we have a good weekend of sports in general. You know, you got boxing and wrestling, and I must let you know, Rich, and I know you know this, and I know you're not trying to say anything. But my team is headed to the Super Bowl, right?
They're winning the Super Bowl. They're favorites, and they're going to win it.
So,
despite the fact that I'm in Arizona, that I'm a bitter Arizona Cardinal fan in the same division with your Seahawks, they're going to win it. They're a good team. Good quarterback, good defense, good offense. They got it. I'm not a football expert, but I followed enough to know the Seattle Seahawks will win the Super Bowl.
You guys see Sergi won't return my messages.
No, I'll make sure that he does. I'll get in touch with him for you.
Because he made a bad
Tom, we got a long hour ahead or more. Let's get to it. We could talk football later. Okay. Let's talk about Zuffa first. Dana White, Paramount Plus. Their debut over the weekend I thought was pretty good. Except a 700-seater in the Apex there in Las Vegas, the UFC Center. It had more of an amateur look. The crowd pop wasn't that great. The lighting could have been better. But Dana White said it's going to be a work in progress. And look, it's the first of so many shows on Paramount Plus. And overall, remember now, you're not getting big-time name fighters as Dana White wants to do his way. But he does have this guy, Kaleem Walsh, undefeated at 160 for the first time he went there. Won his fight 98-90 twice, 97-91 over the Mexican Ocampo. Tom, what did you think about his performance, Walsh?
I mean, to me, it was a little bit underwhelming, but maybe we learned some things about Kaleem Walsh that we weren't too sure about before when we seen him. We've seen Kaleem Walsh a few times here in New York, and maybe he doesn't have the punching power that we thought he did. But I thought he boxed well, and I thought he won the fight. I thought he pretty much dominated the fight. Yes, he got to improve on some things, and he was moving up in weight. He fought at 160, not at 154. So, but I thought a little underwhelming, but nevertheless, he looked good. He boxed well. And I think he's going to be a little bit of a problem. I think he's going to be a game fighter. I think maybe he just
At
needs
one,
that.
in a division of 160, of course, that could be wide open for him. And of course, he's got Dana White and Tom Walper at 360. We know enough about Walsh. We've seen him so many times in New York at the Garden. Punching power is there, but he had a hard time. This, to me, was his toughest test.
Definitely his toughest test. But remember, this guy, every time he steps up in competition, he's been stopped in like one round. He got stopped by Errol Spence in round one, and he got stopped by Tim Tszyu in round one, and he lost the decision to Fundora in a fight that he was game. So maybe he's gotten better. But I was expecting Walsh to stop this guy, but he still did a very good job. I'd give him like a B minus.
Oh, he's arrived in the division now at 160, a weight he feels he can handle and be comfortable with. He definitely has the power to do it. So congratulations to Walsh as he moves on. And, of course, he's got Dana White and Paramount Plus to promote him. More so, we want to talk about that a little more. Zuffa Promotions. There's a lot of questions about how far they'll go with this, with their one division, with their 8 divisions and not 12. They're only recognizing 8 divisions, and also one belt, one title. The ring belt is what they're going to give the champion. And the question is, how much money are these fighters getting paid with? An example of this is, let's look at Julian Rodriguez, who not a journeyman, he's still around, and I know him well. He handled his fight well, 99-91, 99-91, 98-92 on all 3 judges' scorecards of a game opponent. Colin Sandoval took good shots, by the way. Yeah. Zuper is good for Hammer Hands Rodriguez out of Hackensack, New Jersey. He's 25-1. He's a welterweight who many said was done after his loss to Jose Pedraza 5 years ago. But the 31-year-old said to Dana White after the fight, pay me. And that's the question with the Zuper promotion and Dana White. Are they underpaying these fighters?
Well, I don't think he said pay me. I think he said, I think he wanted to get a title because he says that, Zupa, they said they're going to have
give him the money. In other words,
Yeah.
he was getting around the time. What I meant to say is that I deserve to get paid now, and give me the title fights. And I think he's still a force to be reckoned with in the division.
I think so too. I mean, listen, he this is 2 upsets in a row. I think he was the underdog in this fight against Kane Sandoval, an undefeated guy. But nonetheless, Kane Sandoval moving up in weight from 140 to 147. And then the previous fight, he fought Avius Griffin, who was undefeated as well. The guy, the big prospect signed MVP signing. So he went over there and knocked him out in like the last round. So listen, Julian Rodriguez has showed that he's a player in this game. And Kane Sandoval, credit to him, he took a lot of shots, kept coming, and there were times that he wore down Julian Rodriguez. But it was a good fight. To me, the best fight of the night.
By the way, Tom, here's a question too with Zuper and Dana White. Despite wanting to be without sanctioning groups, not honoring WBA, WBC, IBF, WBO, the alphabet soup as I call it, White and Zufer signed IBF cruiserweight champ Jai Opataya, right? I always get it wrong, but I get it right too. And he's going to go against cruiserweight champ Michelin. And next, that's going to be in March.
That's what
Shea Mosley. Yeah, and Shea Mosley Jr. is a part of this now, too, of the promotion. So White said about all this when asked, because he wants to go without the sanctioning groups, yet he's got a fighter here now, cruiserweight champ, who wants to unify that division and be undisputed. So that goes against everything that Dana White had said. He said, though, it's a work in progress, Dana White. Opatai signed and wants all the titles, of course. To me, Tom, this is very confusing and contradictory.
Well, he made a statement saying that he was a little bit too ambitious and too aggressive, that he's going to look to make the best fights, and he'll look to see what he can do to honor what some of the fighters want. He wants to be the promoter or the guy that helps the fighter get what they want. If they want to get undisputed, then he's all for it. So, I mean, he's kind of changed his tune a little bit. I think he has to. I think he has no choice. You know, the thing with Dana is this with the Zuffa League, it's going to be a league, but it's going to basically be another promotional company, right? Him and Tom Loeffler, they're just going to promote other fighters. They're going to sign other fighters. They got the backing of Turkey and the money. So look for them to sign other guys. They got, there's other guys rumored to be signed with them as well. Usyk was one of them. So, I mean, we'll see. But definitely he's changed his tone. He has no choice. He's not going to be able to compete, putting up cards like he did in his first card, right?
Well, let's see what happens, because this is confusing, and it's a new league in town. It adds some more confusion in the sport, and you're not going to see the major players, at least for now. Let's see. But their next card, 12 shows, only 8 divisions. Next card is Sunday. That's how quick turnaround they have. Jose Valenzuela, Diego Torres, and then on February 14th, they're coming back with Afi Ajaba in the heavyweight. So, that's some power there for in a couple of weeks, February 14th. But regardless, we have another boxing promotion on Paramount Plus. You have to strive to get it, to be on the network. And I wish him luck. I wish him luck and see where it goes, because this might be a little different.
Well, I mean, I don't want to wish him bad luck. I mean, I think we have to wish him luck because we want to see fighters get paid. We want to see the best fights. We want opportunities for fighters, right? So I got to wish him good luck. I just don't think he's going to perform. I'm not a fan of Dana White. I don't think I would be a fan of Dana White, but I don't want to root for him to fail because I want to give him an opportunity to help these fighters as well.
But you're also inside the Apex. He's also got the UFC venture and all this as well. Back-to-back nights. He had the boxing and the UFC together, so he's a busy man. But I think his focus here is on this Zuffa boxing. I think that's what he wants, and he wants to make it because he says it's a work in progress, and he wants to do it differently. And so far, so good. Let's see where it goes. By the way, we will have a panel coming up and dissect some of these championship fights over the weekend. I just got a text, Tom, to go off base a little bit. Junior Bell from the Boxing Source will be joining us. Did not get the link to log on. So can you handle that?
His email is correct. I mean, I send it to
you. Because the email I sent you, supposedly he didn't get it. But we'll move on. While we're doing that, I'm going to react it up a little bit, and we'll continue. Can you do that while we talk at the same time?
Yeah. We can continue talking, and I'll put up the shots. Let me just type this again and see if maybe I typed it wrong. The email.
I don't know. He said he didn't get it, but you're better adept at doing that than I am. That's for sure, my friend. Over the weekend, also on the Zone, reportedly this may have been the last show on the Zone with Golden Boy and Oscar De La Hoya. They don't have a new deal, and Raymond or Moratella handed Andy Cruz his first loss, and we saw that. So the IBF Lightweight Championship at 135 now is very interesting. Of course, Shakur Stevenson moving up by 140, probably go back to 135 after facing Teofimo over the weekend. But let's take a look at that division now that Moratella is a champ in the lightweight division now. Andy Cruz got his opportunity. Not his best performance. His first loss. He's 8-1, I believe, right?
Andy Cruz, that was his first professional loss, yes.
So let's take a look at that. The
135.
There's Cruz right there. Let's take a look at the champions right there, because the WBA title vacant because Gervonta Davis went on the run and got arrested. Finally, handed himself in. That championship is in recess, and Gervonta's career to be determined now where that's headed. And Abdullah Mason, WBO champ. He's another part of it, and now we got Moratella. What do you think? Good division or not?
Yeah, it's a very solid division. I mean, and then the word is that Shakur, if he wins Saturday night, he said he's going back down to 135. So, not sure how true that is, but if he does, that makes the division still competitive. I mean, it's a good division. I like Abdullah Mason. I think he's a future star in this.
How about Andy Cruz and Abdullah Mason? Is Andy Cruz out of the picture now?
No, I think he will work his way up. Listen, I thought it was a close decision. I actually scored Andy Cruz the winner of this fight. I would have been happy with a draw. I didn't like one of the scorecards they gave.
Oh yeah, it was close. I had that close. I had it close. I thought he lost.
I had Muratalo winning. I mean, excuse me.
Yeah, I had Muratalo winning the fight, but I had a 115, 113. But I really think that one judge, one of those three blind mice, I don't know where he was looking at, was so wide. 116 wide? What was it?
Well, one was
Ridiculous.
116, 112, and I believe the other one was 118.
Too
So,
wide.
Yeah, 110.
Too wide. But
was
sum it
10
all
rounds
up,
to
though.
two. Yeah.
Sum it all up, though, that was not one of Andy Cruz's best fights in his the limited number of fights he had to get that title opportunity.
Yeah.
He was ready, he was prepared, he was focused, but that was not one of his best. And as a result, Muratalo is a champion now in that division, which is competitive, no doubt about it. And on that card, what did we get, Tom?
No, I was gonna say. I tell you what. Listen, even though I scored it for Cruz in a close fight, Muratalo won the championship rounds easy. I believe he won the 11th and 12th round. There's no doubt about that. And those are the championship rounds. So, and the 10th round was my swing round.
That might have gave it to him, the 11th
Yeah.
and 12th round. Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations to him. He's a
The
champion
boxing
now.
source
and-
has arrived, by the way.
Okay, he's here. We'll get him in a
Yes.
moment. We'll bring Junior in a
Okay.
moment. Let's continue running this down before we get to Junior and some of the rest of the panel we have scheduled here tonight on Keep It in the Ring. Rich Mancuso, Tommy D, TD Sports Talk. Your comments, we'll get to them real quick. What are they saying, Tom?
No, a lot of people here. I got one comment here. Muratalo better stay away from Abdullah, but I think he's a good fighter. Other people making fun of my Seahawks. Other people agree with me about Dana White. They don't like Dana White. You know, he says White is bad for boxing. And let's see.
Anything about De La Hoya and Golden Boy now long ago? It's like he's going to lose the zone.
Yeah, I don't know what De La Hoya is going to do with the. He said he was going to work with the PBC now. I don't know how true that is.
No. Well, you might have to. When we're going to go into that later on, where the streaming networks stand with certain promoters, who's doing what, and you're going to be startled to see what I came up with. On that card, Israel Madronov, 11-2-1. He Louis David Salvador, 99-91, 3 times on the cards. He's back in contention at 154. He looked good, Tom, but he's got a long road to climb to get back.
Yeah, the opponent wasn't too much. You know, I don't think he was anything special. It would have been nice if he could have stopped him. But yeah, I thought he looked good. You know, versus a guy that I thought he should have beat up. He was there. He was a punching bag. He had him hurt in the later rounds. But yeah, let's see what happens from here. You know, coming back from 2 straight losses. You know, but we'll see.
Okay, Tom, your favorite fighter now pops up on the scene again. He's February 21st, Ryan Garcia. There's been talk again about his mental health issues. I just read a thing on BoxingScene.com about that. He's all set, though, with Mario Barrios, T-Mobile Arena, February 21st, on the zone. But more so the undercard. This undercard is pretty damn good. When you look at Richardson Hitchens, Oscar Durate for the IBF 140-pound title, and take a look at that undercard. Russell's on it also, and Jaime Munguia reportedly get Rezinez is on that card. And I don't know if that's officially announced at 168, but that's a good undercard supporting Garcia Barrios.
Yeah, it's a decent undercard, and then some PBC fighters. So this is it. Maybe this is the first of the I guess the merge or whatever they're doing with the PBC. You know, Russell and I can't pronounce this guy, the Japanese guy. He's half black, half Japanese. I believe he's half. He's from Ghana, I believe. So this guy's good. I mean, Gary Antoine Russell against this Hiroka. I can't pronounce his name, but that's a good fight. And then Hitchens. Listen, I like Hitchens. I think he's a good talent. I just want to see him fight, better oppositions. I think he should outbox Duarte easy, but he better be careful because Duarte can punch. So
sooner or later, that division of 140, we know where that's at. And Hitchens would love to unify as well. But then we'll see what Teofimo does with Shakur over the weekend. We'll get into that in a moment. Did you see this? Ryan Garcia and David Benavidez in the ring together during the week?
Yeah,
I don't know what he's doing with Benavidez in there, but that's power with Benavidez and Ryan Garcia being Ryan Garcia.
I don't like Ryan Garcia, and I don't think I ever will. I hope Barrios wins. I think that press conference was a joke. You
Yeah.
know, it's just it was kind of cringe watching it too. Um, yeah, I don't really have nothing nice to say about the guy.
No, I
Rich, I'm
know.
sorry.
Well,
Yeah.
he's mentally not there. We know that. He does
But
what he
that
wants
mentally,
to
that
do.
thing, we use a lot of people using this mental illness or
No, I'm
whatever
not.
as an excuse. No, you
He
know,
has done nothing to show that he's a champion until he has a
yeah,
title. He's nothing.
exactly.
That's what it comes down to. But
Yeah,
that's our friend Ryan Garcia being Ryan Garcia. But David Benvenidez, I found that interesting that Benvenidez and him were in the ring together, whatever they were doing during the week. All right. So let's turn our attention now to Tidal Wave Weekend. That's what we're calling it because we have the big one this weekend in the Garden. Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, and of course all those title belt fights underneath. We're going to dissect this and also Xander Zayas' fight as well in the next 20 minutes or so. Let's bring in our good friend from the boxing source, Junior
Junior
Bell.
Bell, Junior Bell.
Is he there?
Yes, he is. Let me take the picture off the screen. What's up, Junior?
He,
Well, it's
Junior, are
JR.
you there? Do we have him on screen or just or there
Yeah,
you
there he
go?
goes. There he goes. I had the
Hey,
picture
Junior,
up.
how are you from Washington, D.C.? Good to join us. Thank you very much for being with us.
Yeah, I got one thing, one saying. I heard from someone that said that you're never a hater if you only speak the facts.
Well, I say, well, that's why we like Junior Bell.
Oh man.
So let's first take a look at this undercard in the Garden on Saturday night, Zone pay-per-view. And it's a good one, and then we'll go into the major one that everyone is buzzing about, at least with boxing people as we are. Guys, you ready? Let's dissect some of these championship fights on the card. Tom, which one you want to tackle first? You want to go with Carrington first and Carlos Castro, WBC
Yeah.
featherweight title?
Yeah, this is probably my favorite fight of the night because I'm a New Yorker just like you, and I've been high on Shushu, his entire career. So yeah, I'm excited for this fight most of all out of all these fights. Shushu the opportunity to become a world champion for the first time. He's taking on a guy in Castro who fought Stephen Fulton, who I thought beat Stephen Fulton and Fulton got a kind of a gift decision in my opinion. He's a very game opponent. This is going to be a good fight. A lot of people questioning Shushu as far as like his punching power and stuff. I like Shushu to knock this guy out. I'm sorry. I mean, call me biased or whatever, but I like Shushu to winning big. I got him in an 8-round stoppage, beating this guy, winning his
Junior,
first
what's
round.
your thoughts on that fight?
Carrington there, will be, coming off of his win there against, what was it, Matias Hita, when they were out there at the theater at Madison Square Garden in July. He's been very eager for this opportunity. He's been waiting for a world title shot, not just, being the WBC interim champion, but he's been waiting for a world title shot. So here against Carlos Castro, yeah, Castro has that extended layoff from the fight against Fulton. And I think that's going to really affect him here against someone like Bruce Carrington. And I think Carrington is going to, blitz him early. And yeah, stoppage may be in the works here, but it could be even earlier than 8. Be careful.
Take a look at the middleweight title up for grab. WBC. Carlos Adamus and Austin Williams, guys. Your thoughts?
You go ahead, Tom.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right. With Adames, I got to see, how he's going to perform out here. He was aiming for a unification. Maybe it could have been against Janabek or maybe something against Lara, but didn't get either. They were saying that maybe he could defend it against his mandatory challenger, but that didn't happen. So now he's going up against Ammo Williams, who had the loss to Hamza Shiraz, but has strung up a few wins since then. So this is like the opportunity that he's been waiting for, ever since that big fight against Hamza Shiraz, where he fell short by stoppage. But I'm thinking here, I have to see what Adames does because I think the offensive level of Ammo Williams, if he picks it up a little bit, I want to see what Adames does in response to it. But Adamas does have a good enough jab and ample defense that he could, outpoint Austin Williams to the decision.
You know what the shame is about this, guys? This undercard supporting Tiafimo and Shakur, these other championship fights could be on a show itself alone. That's how good of a card this is at the Garden on Saturday night.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, this is a. I think the undercard is solid. I mean, this is the Mecca. This is Madison Square Garden. I don't believe this fight was promoted as well as it should have. They say sellout, but I see tickets still available.
Well,
as far as-
Tom, we go into that. Before we go into that aspect of it, the other one is Keyshawn Davis and Jermaine Ortiz. Guys, dissect that one a little bit. That fight. Jermaine's a journeyman. He's been around. He never goes away.
Jermaine is a very good fighter, and I think this is going to be a very good fight. Jermaine arguably beat Loma, and some people thought he beat Loma, and some people thought he beat Tiafimo. So he's got two fights and two decisions where he got the wrong end of the stick, and now he's got to fight against a dog in Keyshawn Davis, who's looking to prove something and stepping up in weight as well. I think this is a fantastic fight. I think Jermaine Ortiz can box, just as well, if not a little bit better than Keyshawn. But I think it's the dog in Keyshawn that wins this fight. I have Keyshawn stopping Jermaine Ortiz in this fight late. I think the gas tank will run out on Jermaine Ortiz late. I'm picking Keyshawn to win in a 10th round knockout. Some people think I'm crazy, but but this could be the fight of the night.
Of course, top rank staging a lot of these fighters that are up there on the board Saturday night. Guys, basically, do you agree with me that this is a great undercard before Shakur and Tiafimo?
Oh yeah, I mean they really, did their job here with the undercard. I guess they had to do something in response to, this main event. I mean, I know what was going on in the press conference here earlier today between
we're gonna go into that.
and Shakur Stevenson. But with some of the styles here, with the fighters that are here in the undercard, that you could see some spectacular performances by some of these guys. Now, you were talking about this thing here with Keyshawn and Jermaine Ortiz. Ortiz says that he is on a different skill level here than Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn hasn't necessarily been in the ring since February 14th of last year, since he had that bout in Norfolk get canceled. What I did see there at the press conference in the face-off was that Keyshawn, looked like he, what I would say. He would be able to make 140, but you could see with his frame that he could be bigger than 140.
Yeah.
So I want to see it like how that shows in their battle there between Keyshawn and Jermaine Ortiz. But yeah.
Do you guys agree that for both these guys, more so for Keyshawn, that this is a very, very not only compelling fight, but fight what I call implications around the board for both of them?
Yeah, big time. Huge. I mean, I don't like to say must win. It's probably more of a bigger must win for Jermaine Ortiz, right? Because how many more opportunities will he get? And, Jermaine Ortiz, to his credit, has built himself back up to get the opportunity, right? Whereas Keyshawn, he's still kind of fresh coming up. He just became world champion last year, never got a chance to defend that title. So, but if Keyshawn was to lose, it's going to set him back. As far as all the stuff that he's been speaking about other fighters in his division and the lower division as well. So, listen, I think this is a big fight for both. I don't like to say must win, but it might very well be a must win for both guys.
Junior, your thoughts?
I agree with that, because you got this thing here with the WBO eliminator bout. Keyshawn Davis is currently rated number 1 in the 140-pound ranking. So, the winner of this would likely be next in line for the WBO champion here, maybe later this year, right? And, you talk about the thing there with Jermaine Ortiz. He's had, multiple chances, whether it's been at 135 pounds or 140 pounds. Like this one right here, like this is like his best shot to get right in the mix there at the top of 140. He's not necessarily a guy that is, backed by the larger promotional companies out there, I mean, I want to get, shout out to Box Lab Promotions and Mark Piedra, who, Jermaine Ortiz is signed with, but you have like guys like him in BoxLab in comparison to a Top Rank, to a Matchroom, to like even like a Golden Boy or whatever it is. So if you lose this as Jermaine Ortiz, it's going to be really, really tough for you to get back in the world title mix, because you're going to have to either figure out a way to sign with one of those bigger promotional companies, or work back up the rankings as you did before your last loss to Teofimo Lopez.
Good points. Well, look, 3 world title fights Saturday night at the Garden, and it's going to be a good one. They say it's sold out. Some say it's not. It will be sold out. There's been a buzz for this, as I said on the opening. Boxing, it's not getting the play. Because you know what? If this was the 1980s era, when we didn't have social media and the internet, this fight would be front page headlines that we're talking about now. The hype is over. They're ready. The press conference was today. I saw a more focused Teofimo Lopez than I ever saw before. He was funny. He was comical. And then it was then Kevin Connolly, Teofimo's manager, and Shakur Stevenson went at it a little bit. But other than that, they got their points across. Let's get to the big one Saturday night. And of course, Shakur moving up in weight for this one. And of course, Teofimo Lopez. There they were already the other night at the Garden before a Knicks-Kings game. Holding up the belts was Teofimo. Teofimo, of course, is quick, got power, he's focused. He's got the size advantages against the southpaw Shakur. I believe a brawl will go to Lopez if they want to brawl. Stevenson's got the jab, the footwork, the distance, and most of all, the defense. That's been his albatross, where people get on him about that. There's the tail of the tape. Of course, they're both undefeated. And the knockout power is there. Oh, well, the one loss, right.
Yeah, one loss.
Thank you. Tom's... that's why I got Tom, because his vision and everything is better than mine, even his memory.
Yeah.
But look at the reach advantage, the height advantage, and all that stuff. Guys, let's dissect this a bit. See who you're picking and why.
I'll let you
Either
go
one
first.
go first.
Like I was thinking if I was gonna be at this fight card, but the whole thing with the credentials and all that type of stuff didn't quite work out. That's a whole different story.
You mean they denied you? How, Junior, you got denied?
Yeah. It's a
Yeah, the ring.
story.
I can't stand the ring. I feel you, Junior, and I feel exactly the way you feel.
That's part of it.
Just-
But in reference to this
yeah,
matchup,
yeah.
in reference to this particular matchup, I wasn't necessarily looking forward to it because of the styles of both fighters. Both are counter puncher. They have that counter puncher mentality. With Teofimo, he can, take the lead for a little bit, but he's not necessarily comfortable in taking the lead or taking it to the next level. You've seen that ever since he's been there at the 140-pound division. All of his wins have been by decision, except for his very first bout that he had up there against Pedro Campa at that tent in Las Vegas that they put up, out of nowhere, right? But ever since then, it's basically been decision victories, including, the one against Jermaine Ortiz that a number of people felt like, Jermaine Ortiz won. I particularly point out to Teofimo Lopez's bout in that same venue there in Madison Square Garden against Sandor Martin, where, of course, he had that whole thing, do I still got it? Sandor Martin, very defensive-minded, had basically just, turned or kept the distance away from Teofimo Lopez, right? And, hey, he probably ain't the only one.
Yeah.
But Shakur is somebody that is one of the most technical defensive fighters that we probably have seen.
Yeah, it's more than Mayweather, too, I believe. Even more than Floyd Mayweather was.
Yeah, because the thing with Mayweather is Mayweather could kind of stay stationary, even though he had the reach advantage against a lot of his opponents. But he just stayed stationary. With Shakur, he will just either take a full step or a half step back, step to the side, make sure that he knows the distance between him and his opponent. And he's going to be doing that all fight against Teofimo Lopez. Now, the thing that I hope is for Shakur Stevenson to have a start like he did against William Cepeda, where he just just made him miss, made him pay, peppered him, and that type of stuff, to where it almost was like stoppage up until like round 7 or round 8, and then he kind of like took it easy for the rest of those rounds. So that's what I'm.
And yet, Tio, you look at Teofimo, he's coming off that May 1st adventure in Times Square. He stole the show against Barboza Jr. And that to me was, I saw a more focused Teofimo that night. I'm seeing it more now. Me and Teofimo, and I'm not taking size or partiality, we developed a good rapport, enough to know that I know now he's more focused than he's ever been because I've followed his career since he was an amateur. Can he handle the southpaw stance of Shakur? And again, that defense. What do you guys think of that?
Well, let me get to the comments here. Your friend and my good friend, Pedro Fernandez, he says that Tio lost to Kambosos, and Kambosos couldn't win the New York Golden Gloves, and he beat him. And then he says Kambosos couldn't win the Golden Gloves, and he beat him. He says Sandor made Tio think. So that's what Pedro feels. Here's what I feel. I agree with what everyone is saying, and I agree with what Pedro's saying. But I do also believe that Tio gets up for certain opponents, and sometimes he doesn't get up for other guys. Like he didn't really get up for Jermaine Ortiz. You see, he didn't really get up for Sandor Martin, but he got up for Lomachenko, right? I think he gets up for Shakur, and I do think he's going to be a little bit dirty in this fight. I think he's trying to play mind games with him. It depends on, Shakur's mentals. Remember, this is a mental game as well. If Shakur's mentals is up to par, which I think they will be, yeah, this is going to be an easy win for Shakur. But I just have a feeling that Tio's going to pull something crazy this fight and just do something that's just going to amaze us all. I still going to think he loses the fight, but I think it's going to be closer than what people think. I got Shakur winning a split decision, and yes,
and I'm going to jump ahead. I think I have Teofimo winning a split decision, Tom. That's my feel on it.
Okay.
No partiality. That's how I feel. Junior, what about you? What do you think the outcome? What do you think, Junior?
Or in reference to like this matchup here, like I'm leaning to Shakur. Now, for the last bout that he had against William Cepeda, I said that it was going to be like a 10-2 fight because I didn't really think that William Cepeda had what it takes in order to deal with the fighter of that caliber there in Shakur Stevenson, and then pretty much like played out that way. Here, I see it being more of like an 8-4 type of a fight, in that there'll be two factors here. One, you have the thing there with Teofimo Lopez, getting up for big fights, but I really don't think that his style, it really kind of like is a counter to what Shakur does. What you may see is something to the extent of when Shakur Stevenson fought Oscar Valdez when it was for the WBO and WBC super featherweight titles, where Oscar Valdez got to a point where he was completely neutralized and he couldn't really do much in the second half of the fight. That's what
and the two of them know each other well. They know each other well out of the top-ranked stable, so there really isn't that animosity. It's who the better fighter is. That's what it comes down to. And I tell you guys, I am intrigued with this fight. When they first announced it, finally, and we had been waiting, finally came through. And I just thought it was a good fight for the sport. It's good for boxing. This is what you need, and hopefully it's going to go that way on Saturday night in the Garden.
Yeah, listen, I know people, this is the best versus the best, and maybe people don't think much of Tio. Some people may not think much of Shakur. But listen, both guys are facing their best opponent they've ever faced. I believe Shakur is better is a better fighter than Loma, right? And I think Tio's better than anybody Shakur beat. So this is why this is best versus best. It's going to be, I think it's a good fight, and it's in the Mecca. I think we're going to get a good show overall, and a good main event, a nice chess match in the main event.
And of course, Shakur is with Eddie Hearn in Matchroom, and Teofimo involved with the Ring and the Turk guy, still with the Top Rank deal. I think this is the last one where they're going to collect money off his fight. Last I talked to Teofimo personally one-on-one last week, he did tell me this: expect a tough fight, and he did tell me that this was his toughest test. We know that. We know that about it. This is the biggest fight of his career. Do you agree, guys?
Absolutely, yeah. This is his toughest fight by far.
Yep. Theo was mad.
Will this define his career, win or lose?
What, for Theo?
Yeah.
I mean, I think so, because, you know, at the end of the day with boxing, I mean, it's one thing about accolades, but it's another thing about business. And the thing with Teofimo Lopez is that he, you know, even with him, you know, being the unified champion at 135 and being the, you know, lineal champion and WBO champion at 140, he hasn't necessarily gotten the attention that he probably would seek or is looking for. So if it was up to him, he would want to get this win in order to stay within relevancy because of the ramifications of what happened in his first loss against George Kambosos Jr. Right? So after this one, if he ends up losing to Shakur Stevenson, like, who knows where he would be at as far as like the overall scope in the sport of boxing and where he would want to, you know, direct his career from that point.
Let me add one more thing.
So, Junior, we're going to move on. We're going to analyze another big fight. Go ahead.
The Devin Haney factor. Devin Haney's going to be at this fight. So the rumor is he may commentate. How much does that affect both fighters trying to impress Devin Haney? It's like there's more of the mentals there as well. You know what I'm saying?
The great Debo Haney.
You know, Teofimo wants that. He wants that 147.
He's going to commentate. The great.
That's a good point.
Freaking Bill Haney, man. Come on, man. Oh, goodness.
All eyes and attention at the Garden Saturday night with this one. That's for sure, guys. Again, I got Teofimo winning split decision. So Tom has Shakur split decision. And Junior, finally, your prediction on it?
Shakur by eight rounds to 4.
Unanimous. Okay.
All right. Let's see where it goes. No bets on the table with us. That's for sure.
No.
We don't know what's going to happen. Let's just hope it's a good fight. And if it comes down to the scorecards, that it is done the right way with the 3 blind mice. And, you know, at the same time, simultaneously, San Juan, Puerto Rico, homecoming for Xander Zayas, first title defense, defending 154, the WBO title. Unification, he said that, against Baruch. How do you pronounce it, Tom?
I think it's
Baruch.
Barao.
Yeah.
Barao.
You know, they had a friendly press conference final today in Puerto Rico and San Juan. Zayas saying his only goal right now is to defend that title. He wants to unify. He gets this. He gets another title in the division, and he wants to unify. It's never happened in Puerto Rico with great fights. There he is. We were hoping to get this guy to the right. Worked out a lot with Kid Kansas, the lightweight. They're very good friends down in Miami where Zayas has a gym. And Zayas looks great. 23 years of age. Greatness at that age, no doubt about it. Yep.
Troy Isley there. Right.
This is
another good fighter.
Yeah, this is a good fight, but I don't know. Guys, it's not getting the play because it's overshadowed Teofimo Shakur. That's the problem I have. This should not be the same time. Top Rank Classics will have it. They don't have a streaming deal. You got to find Classics somewhere on Roku, wherever you can get it, to see a champion, Xander Zayas. As I wrote in my column on LatinoSports.com, I encourage everybody to read it. That hurts the exposure. That hurts the markability for Xander Zayas. He's being seen on a classic channel. That's not a major streaming network. But this fight for Xander is important. He wants to unify, and he's home. He's in his hometown. How do you see this going, guys?
You know, for me, I think it's going to be Xander Zayas with the win. I know that, you know, they've had, of course, a familiarity with each other, sparring multiple times there. But I think with Zayas, he's kind of like growing, or growing into the fighter that he wants to be. There, within his past few fights, he has that experience against a former world champion there in Patrick Teixeira. Had a couple of other good fights there. Up until the point that he defeated Jorge Garcia Perez for the WBO title. For Barao, he had a great effort there to win at the time the WBA interim championship there. But I think even with his activity within the 154-pound division, as far as like his clinch output, I think he's going to get outpointed here by Xander Zayas, and it'll be Xander Zayas by decision to unify the titles there with the WBA and WBO.
And guys, you look at that comment from one of our viewers, Poppy. Who's that, Tom?
Papi Chunieyo. Papi
Hey,
Chunieyo.
good point. Many people think Zayas is the weakest link in the division. Yeah, and that division with Findora, even Keith Thurman, somebody back in the mix, just one of them. I mean, yeah. I mean, yep. Yeah, that division is. That comment could be very well leading up to what we could, for Saturday night with Zayas in Puerto Rico, because he could be the weakest, and that's why he has to win this fight to shut everybody up.
I think this is a tough matchup, but I don't know if people know this. They've worked with each other before, so they know each other.
They sparred. They know each other well. They were sparring partners. It's in my column in LatinoSports.com.
So I like Xander in Puerto Rico. I like it. I think it's going to be a very competitive fight, but I like Xander to win a nice unanimous decision. A very competitive fight. 8 rounds of 4, 7 rounds of 5. But I got Xander winning this fight.
Yeah, I like Xander winning this fight, and I think it's not going to go knockout route. He's been tending to go late in rounds now in his last few fights, even with Garcia to win the championship at the Garden. That we saw back late last year. But I like Xander winning this on points. Again, hope the 3 judges at ringside, whoever they are, do the right thing.
That's what we asked for, right? Unless you got Tim Cheatham out there, like he said, Tim Cheatham, you got to be careful with this guy.
Guys, this is also a good card before Zayas and Baruch.
Barao.
I bought Barao.
Somebody got Barao by late stoppage.
No, we'll see. We'll see. Xander looks like he's in the best shape of his career, even with a title around his waist. Good undercard, Roman Polanco, an exciting young fighter, undefeated junior bantamweight. He's on this card as well. Polanco looking for big things, and so again, guys, we'll be at the Garden Saturday night. Junior, you'll be in the comforts of your home, unfortunately, but we'd love to see you up here. But what are you going to do? Watch them both at the same time?
I'm gonna watch them both at the same time. Yeah, I mean, I ain't going out there with the weather being around like degrees in the evening up there. Nah, like I already got
No, you're right. Yeah,
I already got the program.
Traveling's tough.
So.
Yeah, I mean, but again, it brings to the predicament: how can these promoters get together and stop doing this to the fight fans? Can't put on 2 great cards at the same time. It's not fair to the fighters more than anything else.
It's a busy day Saturday. I mean, you got the card earlier in the UK, right? I think you got.
Yeah, we're talking about the UK. Yeah, on the zone you have the IBF Junior Middleweight title, Josh Kelly against Mordolov, and in Denmark, I botched that one up too. Apologies. In Denmark earlier, super middleweight William Skull. Remember him? Fort Canelo? That's on there as well. So you got 2 fights on the zone, then you got these 2. Guys, I leave you with this quick. I got some more things to go over with you as well, but how, in your opinion, do promoters prevent this from happening? It's not fair to the fighters. It's not fair to the boxing fans. It's not.
I mean, I think they'll do well in their respective places. I mean, listen, I'm sure Xander will do well in Puerto Rico, and the Garden. It looks like they said they sold out. I don't believe it. That's a good card. They'll do well in the UK. They're great supporters of boxing and the sport of boxing. So I'm sure they'll do well. I'm not sure about the William Skull fight, but yeah, I think it's fine. It's three different locations, where they do support, boxing. So I think it'll do
So
well.
if you
As
have
far
a
as TV, it's
one
bad.
thing,
Yeah.
if you have a subscription to the Zone, you're in good shape because you got it all.
Yeah, but the thing is, listen, I'm gonna be at the fight Saturday, so I'm gonna have to watch all the other fights on replay. Except for the UK, we can watch, on our phones or whatever. I can watch that.
All right, Junior, I'm going to put you on the spot. How are you going to handle? I've done it many times because Rich Mancuso likes to multitask. How are you going to handle two big cards at the same time? Major fights
Well, I mean, you're
for
gonna
the
have
boxing source.
what's gonna happen is you have the fights that are gonna be on Top Rank Classics. I mean, that's gonna be whatever. So, I'm mainly gonna follow what's gonna be happening with Ring Six in the fights there.
Yeah.
Because it said like some of the fights. They said the first few fights will actually be on the Zone, like free on the Zone or whatever it is. So he'll be able to catch, I think, Terrell Miller versus Kingsley Abe on that fight card, and a couple of other fights that are, that'll be.
I'll be at ringside. Hopefully, who knows where they'll put me.
Rich, they,
And
they,
somehow or another, I'll be.
they're gonna put you in the roof.
They're gonna put.
They might put me up in the by the bridge. They call it
I
the
think that's what
bridge.
they're gonna do because that's what they tried to do the last time to me.
No, I don't know. We'll see. Because they got to do with the ring people. Who knows what they're going to do? I don't know. Anyway, it's going to be a busy Saturday. And if you're a boxing freak, and then because we got the Royal Rumble at 2 p.m. Eastern, we'll talk
Royal
about that
Rumble too, yeah.
a little while, Tom. Good, interesting Saturday. But, guys, I want to go over a couple other things with both of you as we keep it in the ring some more. You saw this at Christian Mabili, who I always said would be a champ. He's been ascended now to the WBC 168-pound title and probably headed to a clash with Canelo Alvarez in September. What do you think, briefly?
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I was able to have the conversation. They had an open conference call with Christian and Billy earlier today. He's looking, for a big fight, whether it's against Canelo Alvarez or against the likes of a Caleb Plant or, something there with like a Hamza Shiraz or something like that. But what it remains to be seen if that'll actually come to fruition. They do have, Eye of the Tiger Promotions that's able to, get those fight for a number of their fighters. We've seen them there against Lester Martinez in that Canelo Crawford card. And now you see that another one of their fighters there for Eye of the Tiger is going up against Tyson Fury and Arslan Bekmambetov, right? So for
Yeah, we're going to go over that. Yeah.
So Christian and Billy is looking to see if he could have one of those
Undefeated,
fights.
power
But,
from Montreal.
I also asked him if he wants to have one defense of that WBC super middleweight title in Quebec City or Montreal.
And that was the title that Terrence Crawford threw out the window. That's
Pretty
the
much,
one he had that he took from Canelo. All right. Jesse Bam Bam Rodriguez resigned with Matchroom. Zuffa was bidding for him, so Bam Bam back with Matchroom. And, of course, now we get to Tyson Fury returning. He never retired. I always said that. It says the Turk guy just claims this fight will happen Saturday, April 11th. Because this guy, what's his name again? Junior, pronounce it. He's a knockout artist. That's all I know. On Netflix. That's a ring event in Saudi Arabia. Let's see how much Tyson Fury has left. Is he going to fight Anthony Joshua down the line? Joshua went on Instagram today and offered came out. It was a very solemn message about the deaths of his two friends in an fatal car accident in Nigeria. But Joshua and Fury might still happen. It all depends on Joshua's mentality and health. See if that happened. Guys, I leave you with this. Boxing and where they are with streaming networks and TV. Take a look at this. Top Rank, of course, doesn't have a major streaming network. Golden Boy in the Zone, maybe not renewing. PBC, Amazon Prime with the PBC, 5 shows And the 5 shows they've done have been pay-per-view. They have nothing set for this year. Matchroom and The Zone, 2 events planned. That's it so far. Of course, they have The Zone, the worldwide leader. And Zuper has the 12 shows with Paramount Plus. Is the sport healthy based on what you just heard?
Nowhere near healthy. You pretty much like gave out the stats there, right? The Golden Boy, had their recent announcement about the streaming platform that they're going to be on, and I guess that's not much different than what Top Rank has right now. The thing with Premier Boxing Champions, it doesn't seem like they have something set in place, and that could be a part of the reason why we haven't heard much about Fundora versus Thurman, because folks thought it would have happened already, and now they're thinking it might happen in March, but we're waiting on that
In March,
right?
Depending on Thurman, if Keith is healthy, we never know what's going on with Keith Thurman.
Keith's good. He's good. He's had recent conversation.
Well, Fundora has recovered from his injury,
right?
From the hand or the wrist, whatever it was. Yeah,
but still,
and they're rescheduling it.
It's still more about, if they're going to reschedule it, is it going to be March 21st or March 28th? That's what people are trying to zero in on. But
we'll see what happens. We'll see.
It remains to be seen what happens with PBC in itself, because if you're only going to have like these few amount of fights here on at least Amazon Prime or whatever it is, that's not going to work for the series of fights.
No.
Right. So that's why, like,
it seems like Netflix is becoming the rival to The Zone right now. Jake Paul and everyone else wants to go to Netflix.
Over 300 million subscribers, they should.
They know where to go. As I said at the top of the hour, it's all about the money. Great stuff, guys. But first, before I let Tom, you're still with me. We'll reach the top of the hour. We're going to take our break in a moment. Junior Bell, the Boxing Source, always great having you. But you're going to be in on this now. Tom, you know what it is. Fact of the week. Let's get it up. Junior, you're going to take a shot at it as well with Rich Mancuso. You ready, guys?
All right, what you got?
Here we go. Now, you guys can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know that.
I think so.
Right? Oh, I think so, too. As bad as I am with math. But in boxing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 has a meaning for a fighter, each number. What does one, take a shot at what a 1 means when it comes to a trainer telling them what to do, coach in the ring or in training. A 1, a 2, a 3, 4, 5, 6. I was hoping Kid Kansas would have joined us on the program because he could have got this because he's a fighter. But, guys, what do you think a 1 signifies from a trainer or coach to a fighter? What does that say for him to do, a 1?
Basically, what for me, a 1 is like an actual 1 for offense, which is just a jab.
You got it. The lead jab. Very good. All right, number 2. What do you think that is?
That would be the follow-up. The follow-up to the 1.
The cross, the power punch with the rear hand.
Mm-hmm.
You're close. 3. What does he call for a 3?
Oh,
Tom, you're too quiet because it must.
I don't know. I think
Tom went
there's a
away.
diagram on this, and I was trying to cheat.
it could be a follow. It could be a follow-up hook.
Oh.
So 1,
It's a lead hook.
3.
Boy,
okay.
Junior, have you been in the ring? Because you got it. You got that one. A 4. What's a 4?
Is this
Oh,
it? No, that's not.
Oh, you're cheating, Tom.
Yeah, see, that's all. I knew we had it. I knew we had it. That's what I was looking
That's
for.
cheating.
yeah, you get.
Well, the 4 is the rear hook, the rear hard circular punch. What's the 5? What would be a 5?
Uppercut?
The lead uppercut.
Yes, a lead uppercut. Very good from both of you. Finally, the 6. Without cheating, Tom. Come on, that's
No, I
cheating.
know. I forgot.
Now,
The
I'm
6.
gonna guess this with the 6. I would say it's a punch to the body.
It's the upward punch, the lead hand. That's what it is.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what the trainers and coaches ask for from a fighter. Good job, though, both of you.
Nice
Back to
one.
the
That was
week.
a-
Thanks.
That was a different
Yeah.
one.
We'll give you
Yeah,
credit
I
for it,
cheated.
Tom,
I'm not gonna lie,
despite
but
that
I
you
remember
cheated.
You
Yeah,
gave me that
I know you
diagram
did.
like a couple months ago, and we never really used it.
Yeah,
so
and
I
you
was like,
kept
okay.
it because you knew it was coming and you cheated, but good job. Junior Bell, the boxing source. How do fans reach you? Very informative. Great stuff from you tonight. I keep it in the ring. How do fans get you, Junior?
You see it right there, the Boxing Source. You see the website, theboxingsource.net. So there you go. That's all you need.
All right. My friend, you're a champ as always. Thanks for coming on. Be in touch. I'll see you soon. Keep it in the ring.
All right, no problem.
Thank you, Junior. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Junior. Tom, he's great. He always
He's
is.
great. He's very knowledgeable. He does great
Yeah,
work.
he knows his
I've
stuff.
got to meet
We're
him
going
a
to
few
have him
times.
on here more often. He's got to
he
come
does
on more
great.
often with us.
And-
Top of the
and-
hour, a little more. We got to move on. We have a lot more to do. We're going to take a brief time out, come back. My social media, scroll to the bottom of the screen, the boxing calendar. This is Keep It in the Ring. Like, comment, subscribe to my page here on Keep It in the Ring page on Facebook and on YouTube and everywhere else. You find Rich Mancuso, and that's Tommy D. Back in a moment, folks. Keep it in the ring. Stay with us.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
We're back. I think Rich had to step away for a minute, but we are good. We're going to stream along. I think we're going to get to the wrestling portion of the show, and there goes Rich coming back right now.
Yo, no, I'm here. I had to
Yeah,
do my,
so-
you know.
And I think you're going to lead off with some UFC. I think, right?
Yeah, let's get to that. Back with Keep It in the Ring. I'm sorry about the delay, but I thought we were going to go a little longer. But we got to rush through because we don't want to go 2 hours.
No, we can't.
Yeah, the UFC, and you talk about Zuper and Dana White. And here's the UFC card. He's setting up in Washington, D.C. on the lawn at the White House. The fighters will come out of the Oval Office. I believe this is going to be July 3rd in commemoration 250 years United States independence. Supposedly Dana White says it's going to be a setup, something like that. Conor McGregor's not going to be on the card. He would have been highlighted and good for it. There'll be no live gate for this. In other words, it's going to be private. No sponsors on the cage. It's going to be an event, more of a political event for the president, Dana White, UFC. But going to be a big event. People will tune in, probably be on Netflix as well. Oh, no, be Paramount Plus. That's his deal with Paramount Plus, not Netflix. And then this. Glad to see he's recovered. Cameron Smotherman collapsed at the weigh-in, 135, try to make weight, a UFC event. Zuffa Paramount show is supposed to be on that. Try to make the weight limit. Again, it brings up the whole question about weigh-ins, not only for UFC, MMA fighters, but for pro fighters in general. Weigh them the same day, Tom, to prevent incidents like this, the dehydration and so forth. That was a scary moment. That really was,
tell you
but he's
something.
okay.
Rich, a lot of people don't know this, but this happens way more than we've seen. This is just one rare time we see it. This happens a lot, especially in the UFC. You just don't see it, but it does
No.
happen a lot in UFC.
It does happen, but I think the way to prevent this again, despite you getting feedback that it's not going to work, do it like it was in the old day. Weigh in same day. You don't have to go through all this. Fighters don't have to make, dehydrate, causes a lot. And it affects them health-wise. They can seriously be injured. They can seriously affect their medical, their health. It's not good. It's dangerous. It's an example of that. I'm just glad he's okay. All right, moving on. WWE doesn't have this problem, and they don't have a problem no more in Riyadh because the stadium is up. I can't believe they did this in a month's time, but if you look in all the images on social media, it doesn't look like that. but they are ready in Riyadh. They erected
Listen.
this stadium in the downtown district in 1 month. 1 month.
So this is new. See, I didn't know this. So they're gonna have
Yeah,
a lot
it's
of
a
fans.
new. They built it in a month.
Wow.
Yeah, they're gonna have 30,000 in there. I heard. Royal Rumble on Saturday, the big fight weekend, and we have the Royal Rumble.
Which is
in
usually
Riyadh.
the best pay-per-view of the year for wrestling. Everybody loves
It
the Royal
is. It's
Rumble.
my favorite. It's my favorite because it's WrestleMania season. Who wins gets a shot at one of the champions in the male from the guys and the gals. But let's look at this, Tom. AJ Styles. They're talking about Gunther defeated him. Will he defeat him? And he does defeat him as expected. AJ Styles could be his last match in WWE or his career. What do you think?
I would be shocked because I thought that he was going to do like a John Cena type thing and have like a tour. Like I thought at the end of this year would be his last match. But I mean, I'd be really shocked.
Well, that's what we thought, but he said they might be swerving us. They might be swerving us.
Yeah, I
And he
feel
had a
like,
great
I feel
match
like
with CM.
AJ's going to win. I don't think he retires.
Yeah.
Right now. I think
Yeah,
they're
but the
gonna
thing
have
is that
a tour.
Gunther likes to put guys in retirement and lets them tap out or whatever.
Yeah.
So that could be the trend there, but we don't know. No one knows because supposedly today, as reported, AJ Styles trademarked his name, which means once you trademark, it's yours, and you can use it wherever you want to go. So that leads to possibilities. If he does leave WWE, if this is indeed his last match, he could be going on the independent circuit. Could end up in TNA if he wants,
That's not a.
or he
what?
could
That
end up
makes sense.
in or AEW. All we know.
The TNA is where he started.
Good
and that's where
question.
he built his name. So maybe
Yeah.
he finished his career at TNA.
So-
WWE has been working with TNA too, so that'd be.
We'll be looking to see now, and that match certainly is not going to be the first one on the card because it'll take away from that match. It has to be the last. I think they would make that the last match at the Royal Rumble, 2 p.m. Eastern start on ESPN, the app, the PLE events. Who wins the female? Look at this. Let's look at this first. Look at these numbers. I was surprised to see this. These numbers from Netflix last year. The Royal Rumble amassed 3.2 million. Yeah, and it surpassed WrestleMania both nights, 1 and 2. Interesting numbers.
Everybody loves the Royal Rumble, Rich. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I mean, some
But
people don't watch
WrestleMania,
wrestling. Some people haven't
WrestleMania
watched
has
wrestling, don't watch the Rumble.
Tom, WrestleMania has always been their big number. But
Yeah.
not last year on Netflix. It was the Royal Rumble. That surprised me to see that.
Wow.
Now, let's go over the women. Let's go over the female entrants and take a look who you might think will win the women's Royal Rumble match. Liv Morgan, she could be the favorite. She could go any ways with this. It's a full entrance of. We're not going to announce them all. Expect some surprises, but not as many because it's in Riyadh. So
Yeah.
we're not being tuned in as much as to who's there already. That could be a surprise. You've heard names, Stone Cold again, this one, that one, but you're not
My
going to see
favorite.
as many. You're not going to know. You're not going to know till Sunday, till
But
Saturday
two of my
afternoon.
favorites, Rich. Two of my favorites. It's Saturday. Two of my favorites. Chris Jericho. and
Yeah,
it
is
could
he
be the
coming back for
return-
the Rumble?
It could be the return of your favorite and my favorite, Grande Americano. Chad Gable might be back.
Oh yeah, he might be back. El Grande Americano.
I know you don't like Chad Gable.
Unmask him now. No, I don't like any of that. What other surprises,
you.
maybe? Put your thinking cap on. Who else? Who else?
They said
I think
Jericho-
Liv Morgan will win
Belair
the.
might be-
Liv
come back.
Morgan wins the. Liv Morgan wins the women's Royal Rumble match. She wins that to me.
Who wins
the
the
men?
men? I don't know.
Yeah. Now, are they leading to the Rhodes Reigns rematch at WrestleMania? I don't know. Is The Rock going to be involved in this? I don't think so because last year's fiasco with WrestleMania and all that with John Cena was a fiasco. So,
Who won
is
last
it
year? Jey
Rhodes
Uso,
or
right?
Roman Reigns? Maybe Brock Lesnar. He's in the match.
I have a
Finn
feeling. I have a
Balor.
feeling.
Now, here's the angle they're doing. How do they swerve us on Finn Balor? Because he was told he cannot get in. There it was filled up. All 30 were entered. But now Rey Mysterio supposedly is injured. That could be the angle to get Balor in that match.
Finn Balor, okay.
Who do you like? Who do you think comes out of that men's Royal Rumble?
I
as
think the
winner?
men's is very wide open. I mean, it looks like Roman Reigns might be the guy because I think they're trying to make Rhodes and Reigns. But I don't know. I think it's very wide open in the men's division. I thought it would be Gunther.
Yeah.
But Gunther's going to fight AJ, so I don't even know.
This
if
is
he's
a
gonna-
Royal Rumble that everyone has no idea because they've been pretty quiet about it because it's in Riyadh. That's
Yeah.
why. And you don't know where the wrestlers are, who's coming in privately, and where they are. See, in the States, the fans know where these guys are going to be. They know when their
Yes.
planes are arriving at the airport, and they know what hotels they're staying at, so they get they can know. But no one knows. Going to be an interesting Royal Rumble Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern from Riyadh. I wish they wouldn't do it that way, but you know what? It gives us a chance to watch some of it at most before heading
it
to the
at-
fights at the Garden Saturday night.
Is it on Peacock or ESPN?
No, it's ESPN. ESPN. They have the rights to the PLEs right now.
So I can watch
So,
it on-
Royal Rumble Sunday, WrestleMania season begins with a lot of questions and who will be there. And the AEW Ciampa is now in AEW. Showed up on Dynamite last night, and he's got a Dynamite match with Briscoe and Brody King, but Briscoe and the TNT title up for grabs. Ciampa is now AEW. MJF has his hands tied up. Page again for the title. Again, their angles are all over the place. You never know what they're going to do. And I know you're not an AEW fanatic anyway. So,
No shot.
I know, that's why you're not commenting. Maybe they should get El Grande Americano.
No, that'd be a waste.
Hey,
It's
you
a
never
waste
know.
of talent.
Tom, one final brief timeout. We have to get to the sponsors, of course, on the program. And then back with nostalgia and wrap it all up. Rich Mancuso, Tommy D, keep it in the ring. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Tommy D, TD Sports Talk, Extreme Punk Entertainment. Like the Facebook Keep It in the Ring page. Back in a moment. Stay with us. I'm Rich. That's Tom. Keep it in the ring.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. Keep it in the ring. A quick hour, a little more tonight. Rich Mancuso, Tommy D. Look at my social media at X Ring786, Facebook.com, Rich Mancuso. Tommy D, where do they find you? Your other platforms, your other shows on YouTube and social media and so forth.
Well, you can catch me here on YouTube, the TD Sports Talk, or you could follow me on my Instagram or Facebook, and my real name is Tom Dillamuth. Real easy, not hard to find that last name anywhere else. And you can catch me on Sundays with my man Pedro Fernandez on Ring Talk Worldwide at 2:05 p.m. Eastern Time. You can check us on Sports Byline USA on YouTube as well every Sunday. At
Never know where
2:05.
we're going. Never know where to find you. I never know.
Yeah,
I never know,
I'm
man.
on. You can find me at
You're
the
all over
fight
the
Saturday
place.
at Madison Square Garden.
And you'll
I'll be
see me there with you, too. We'll be there as a team, as always. And I'm going this time. I'll be there. All right. Nostalgia time. January 28, 1974, first. Second fight, Ali beat Frazier 12 rounds. Remember that? Madison Square Garden. This was for Ali's North American Boxing Federation title at that time. NABF, Alphabet Soup, the great Hall of Famer, the late Muhammad Ali. Then we go to this good one. January 29th, 1984. Frankie Randall defeated Julio Cesar Chavez, split decision, WBC Super Lightweight Championship at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada. Chavez penalized twice per point, low blow, sustained in the first knockdown of his career. In round 11, the first career loss in 91 fight for the great Julio Cesar Chavez. 4 months later, though, Chavez won a rematch in the 8-round split decision. I remember that well. I covered the first fight back in 1984. Tom, do you have footage of that knockdown?
I do. Hold on one second, because this.
Frankie Randall defeating Julio Cesar Chavez, and at that time, that was considered an upset. If you have it, we could show some of that. And there it is.
There's some of the highlights. I got to mute it because we'll get in trouble, and we'll probably still get in trouble.
Restrictions. Yep.
But I will forward. These are just highlights. But real quick, yes, like you said, you basically said everything. This was the first fight. I think they fought 3 times, but the first fight, and this was the very first loss.
They had a trilogy. That wasn't a great trilogy, but this first one was memorable because Chavez lost his first fight in that great career.
And they were trying to take it away from Frankie in that fight. Because not only the deducted points, the knockdown, and it still was a close fight.
I remember it well. I covered it. I covered that fight. I remember it real well.
One judge had
became controversial. Yeah,
it was crazy.
It was controversial. What can you say about Chavez? He was, of course, still many consider him the icon fighter out of Mexico. Even Canelo Alvarez might have surpassed him a bit. But still, when you talk boxing Mexico, it's Julio Cesar Chavez.
Yeah.
It was him.
This is round 11.
Seems like his career would never end.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if you got that, we'll get to that briefly.
There it goes.
The knockdown, there it was.
Right there.
Frankie Randall surprised him. He surprised him.
Yep.
That's for sure. Too. But that knockdown goes down in boxing history because Chavez went down. And he didn't go down much. In fact, not at all.
Up to that point. Yeah.
Good job loading this up. Yep. Good job, Tom. Thank you.
Okay.
That's the nostalgia bad for the week. Randall Chavez. Enjoy doing that every week. Hope you do too, all of you. All right, let's get to some in the past. How about this image I got of these 3 wrestling icons, pro wrestling? Got Captain Lou Albano, the Grand Wizard, and Freddie Blassie. In my time, 3 of the great managers in pro wrestling with the old WWF. How about them, Tom?
Is that the Wizard?
That's the Grand Wizard, Ernie Roth.
Grand Wizard, yep. Yeah, okay. I forgot about him. Wow.
The great Freddie Blassie. And, of course, Captain Lou Albano had the record of managing the number of tag team champions in his career. All 3 of them. Rest in peace continually.
In the middle?
And there he is. Doing commentary with Captain Lou Albano.
This is pretty cool.
At an independent show. I don't even remember when that was. But
this is real nostalgia.
Yeah.
Right?
Me and Captain Lou.
With you, Rich.
He was a character. When you hung out with him and went to airports with him, wherever you were with him, I mean, you talk about an icon. You couldn't get to your plane on time because of him. I remember we took a flight to Boston because we were doing a project together, and we missed the plane because he's busy chatting it up with fans and signing autographs. He loved the fans. He loved them, and they loved him. And I loved doing commentary with him because you didn't know what was going to come out of his mouth. But there he is with me on the mic. I don't remember where that show was. Somewhere in New York somewhere. When I had more hair on my head and a beard.
Yeah, the beard. Look at you.
All right? Yeah. Wow. And then we go to some of the old posters of the heyday in wrestling when your new shows were. Hulk Hogan, Big Boss Man. Where was this? Madison Square Garden. That's how they advertised before social media. A fight poster. January 23rd. Back in, I don't know what year it was then.
Yeah, it doesn't say. Wow.
Big Boss Man and Hulk Hogan, of course, both passed on. And they had some epic matches back in the day. Look at the names on there. You got
If
Some
I
of
had to
those
guess, this
names
had to
go
be
back.
like
Brutus the
1990.
Barber Beefcake. I'm going to show a photo next week of me and Brutus the Barber with
Okay.
my eyes closed.
I think
I
this
have
might
that
be
as well.
19. If I had to guess, this is like 1991.
Yeah, and what's the other one we got? Yep, there you go. WWF. Worldwide Wrestling Federation. And look at the names on that poster.
Wow.
Professor
Sad.
Toru
Very sad.
Tanaka, Mr. Fuji. They were tag team champs with Lou Albano. Bob Backlund, the former champ. Larry Zbyszko, who got into his war and adversary of Bruno Sammartino, his protege. Baron Mikhail Cicluna, who really was not a baron, out of the island of Malta. He lived in Hudson, New Jersey.
Wow.
For
Okay.
years, the late Cicluna was a newspaper route driver. That's what he did to make ends meet because they weren't making the money they make now. Stan the Man Stasiak, who broke the neck of Bruno Sammartino. Tony Garea, part of that tag team. I forgot who his tag team partner was, but he's still involved in WWE.
Is it Briscoe?
Backstage. And the
Briscoe?
late Peter. That was, I forgot who Garea's tag team partner was. I can remember. They were a Dynamite tag team. It'll
It
come
wasn't
to me.
Briscoe. I don't know why I think it's Briscoe, but maybe not. Now I got to look it up. I got to cheat
And then
again.
the late Peter Maivia. Well, late Peter Maivia, of course, that was Rocky. That was Rocky Johnson's father, I believe, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson's grandfather, The Rock.
Grandfather. Yep.
Peter Maivia. They were all part of it back then when the WWF got before it became the WWF and the Attitude and everything else just blew up to proportion. These guys weren't making the money they make. Yeah, they weren't making the money they make now. But
No,
I grew
not
up
even
watching these guys. Some of them I ended up working with too. Some of them I worked with too.
Oh, it was
Stan
Stan
Hansen who
Hansen.
broke Bruno's neck. Yep.
Yeah.
That put Bruno out of the picture, which was a legitimate injury, by the way. It was legitimate. It happened. It was an accident, but it happened. Thanks for giving us Bruce Gas. Was it Bruce Gas Boxing? Thank you very
Yes,
much.
Bruce
And
Gas,
for all
yeah.
of you commenting this week on the program.
He's a wrestling historian as well.
Yeah, well, he knows more than me. Too. And rest in peace. This part of the show, I hate doing it, but we have to because we got to remember. Uncle Floyd, I brought him up. Floyd DeVito, Hackensack, New Jersey. Way before you were born, but I grew up later watching him on UHF television. Uncle Floyd was a character, but he was a wrestling fan. That's why I brought it up. He knew I got involved in the wrestling industry, stayed in touch with me up until 20 years ago. Great Uncle Floyd passed on this past week. Rest in peace, Uncle Floyd. We'll never remember your outfits and your comedy on UHF television. Imagine if he was around now doing Uncle Floyd's show. Would be big, because he did get a lot of viewers on the old Channel 68 UHF station back then when you had an antenna on your TV, Tom. And then this came out late this week, and I was saddened to hear this because I lost touch with him. Dennis Milton, a four-time New York City Golden Glove champion, later became a pro, 16-5, you see, with 5 knockouts. Didn't make it really big. Did fight, though, for a title at one time in his career, passed away. Suffered from dementia. And I was sad to hear I lost touch with him. Dennis and I were very close as an amateur later on. And here is back then in his early stages of his career to the left with me and the world champion, Iran the Blade Barkley. Bronx Proud right there. Bronx Pride. All three of us from the Bronx. Barkley and Dennis Milton out of the Webster PAL. Barkley, numerous gyms. Great champion he was. Still around with us. Health-wise, on and off with Iran, but he's still around. And me, a younger Rich Mancuso, proudly with 2 champs. But the point is, Dennis Milton was an ambassador to the sport even when he left the sport. And Dennis Milton went into business, was a businessman, always had that business savvy in him. Cut his career short because he was sustaining from some injuries. But then you could see that his skills and his thinking ability were diminishing a bit. We lost contact. I hadn't talked to him in about 15 years, no doubt. I lost contact, and then I find out, unfortunately, he passed away this week. Great young man he was, and so was Iran Barkley. They did the Bronx well with boxing, when boxing was king in the Bronx. There's a great history with that, Tom, the Bronx and boxing. Rest in peace, Dennis. I'll never forget your friendship, your loyalty to me, also the type of fighter you were and how good you were for the sport. So we lost two greats this past week. That one, Dennis Milton, though, that really hit me because, when you lose touch with someone and then you find out it passed away, it hurts. It hurts more, So that closes the show this week, Tom. A great hour or more on the program. Thanks for your efforts, as always, as my colleague, producer, and great friend as you are. Thanks again to Junior Bell, Boxing Source. We dissected the best we could. The big fight weekend of tidal waves coming up. Yeah. Tom, we'll see you at the Garden Saturday night with everyone else.
Yes, I'll be there. This show is one of the better shows we've done. I'm glad to have you back. It meshed really well. We're very informative today. We gave a lot of information.
Yeah.
And we analyzed a lot of things. We analyzed Zuffa. We analyzed the upcoming cards. A lot of boxing this weekend. Yep. It's a big Saturday. If you're a big sports fan,
it really is.
If you like wrestling and boxing, your day is fulfilled.
And they did it, I guess, at the right time, despite me venting that it's too much at the same time, because next week's Super Bowl Sunday, and February doesn't get busy until Ryan Garcia's fight on the 21st. So, so if you want boxing, you got it this weekend. And we'll be watching and tuning in and recap it all for you next week here on the program. And you got another week for that yet, though. You still got a week to look at that.
I'm should win it. I'm pumped up.
They should win it. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, staying with us, for your comments. Like, comment, and subscribe again to my channel here on YouTube, Rich Mancuso, to Tommy D, TD Sports Talk, and String Punk Entertainment. Like the Keep It in the Ring page. Get me on social media, xring786, facebook.com, Rich Mancuso, and on Instagram. And read my content, latinosports.com. Xander Zayas feature up there now. And tomorrow, more on Latino Sports with the Shakur Stevenson Teofimo Lopez fight. It's going to be a good one in New York. Going to be good in Puerto Rico for Xander as well. And it's always good being with you. So be good. Take care of yourselves. Stay well. As always, God bless. And Tom, as we always say, till next time,
keep it in the ring.
Keep it in the ring, everyone. Thank you for watching. See you soon.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.